Hello there and welcome. My name is Linda and welcome to my channel Linda Tea at Home. Really good to have your company today, and welcome back if you're one of my regulars, and if you're new, a warm welcome to you, and I hope you'll stick around. The eagle-eyed among you might notice, well, a couple of things really. First of all, I've got different glasses on. Secondly, I've had my hair cut, and the other thing is I'm filming in a different room. There's been a few changes going on in this house, just temporary changes, which I was going to just mention to you today. So I'll fill you in on that. I had my I had my hair cut last week, and with this sort of weight loss thing I've been doing, when I haven't seen my hairdresser for I think 5 or 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks, who knows, about that anyway. And when she came in, she remarked on my weight loss, and she said, "Oh, your glasses look really big on you now." And they're kind of my green glasses, which do have a bigger lens than this. And I thought, actually, perhaps I'm just looking like I'm all glasses now. So I found my other pair, which are actually an older pair, and they have a smaller lens, you know, smaller size piece of glass in them. So that's why I'm wearing them today. And the bonus of these is they don't slip down my nose constantly. They do a bit, she says, pushing her glasses up her nose, but not like the other ones. The other ones do drive me mad because they're always, I mean, I've got quite a big nose. Why they slide down it, I don't know. But anyway, they do. So yeah, you might have noticed. I know some of you notice things like that. And my hair is, yeah, I mean, it's just a bit shorter. So, you know, nothing to see here really with that. Yeah, so what's happening in the house at the moment is, I probably mentioned this before, but one of my daughters moved house in the middle of September, so about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And she's not moved any further away, she's just moved in a sort of different direction, I suppose. And the new house they've got is in a nicer area. It's, my granddaughter's going to a different school, and a much nicer school. And yeah, I'm really happy for them. They've been hoping to move into this area for a while, and they've got a house. They've now bought a house there, so that's all brilliant. But the house does need some work doing to it, and some of it needs to be done while they're not living in it. It just makes life an awful lot easier when you've got a family. So they're going to come and stay here. So that's fine. In fact, her and her boyfriend came and stayed here about, oh, I don't know, it must be 12, 13, maybe even 14 years ago. They were saving. My daughter had a flat that she was renting at the time, and so did her boyfriend, a separate flat. And then they decided to live together, and in my daughter's flat. But they needed to move out eventually, and they wanted to save up to have their own home. So they came and lived here for a couple of years and saved up the money for a deposit. So this is kind of what seems to be going on with a lot of young people now. If their parents can possibly do it, lots of people are either staying there till they can save up or coming back home, because rents are so ridiculous, especially in the part of London, part of the country that I live in. It's even higher than most other places, I think. Not this specific area where I actually live, but you know, this general area of the country. So that's happening. But to that end, and I want them to be as comfortable as they can be while they're here, not feeling like they're sort of squished into a corner. So if you don't know, I live in a 3-bedroom house. I live in a small house, but the bedrooms aren't too bad really. They're not massive, but they're even the 3rd bedroom's not too bad. When I first came to live here, when I first met current husband, he had his children here, and I came to live here. And then, you know, over those intervening years, we had various children come and go, so it's been very well used. But we've been we've been living here on our own for probably about I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. Our last daughter moved out, and so I've had plenty of space, and I normally do my videoing in the front bedroom. My son was staying here for a while. He was actually here for about 2.5 years, quite recently. If you've been with me, you'll know about that. And he's left a year ago. So his bedroom, the front bedroom, I kind of converted into a spare bedroom come videoing room. So I didn't have to sit downstairs and face this direction, which has got very poor light. This is the south. I'm facing south here. I'm in my own bedroom at the moment, and today's been very odd with the weather. It's been really nice and sunny for a while, and now it's really black clouds out there. So I'm sorry if the light's not great, but what can you do? And when I used to do my videos downstairs, when I first started doing YouTube, I could never quite get the light right down there. It was either too bright or it was too dark, or I don't know. It's all hard work, isn't it? And I even bought one of those ring lights, but they kind of give me a migraine. So this is this is as good as I get, really. But anyway, so I will show you, actually, just as a if you're interested, what I've done to the rooms just to make some space for them. So I've moved our stuff around a bit, and I've moved stuff from the front bedroom just so they're comfortable. Now, I don't anticipate them staying here for very long. It's not going to be months or anything, she said, but half term is next week round here, so it's easier to start the work on their property next week, so they can all come and stay here. But I anticipate it might go into a second, possibly third, I don't know, week, because they're also having some electrical work done. And I also did wonder, because my current husband is getting heavily involved with the transformation of their house, so, and various other trades. My current husband is a plumbing and heating engineer, come genius about doing all sorts of other things, really, as tradespeople are, I suppose. So I might take some, it might not be something that everyone's interested in, but I might take a little bit of footage as the work goes on, just to show you what the before and the middle and the after looks like. And yeah, you might be interested in that. So anyway, what I've done with this room is I've moved my dressing table, which had been in the front bedroom where I normally do my videos from. I've been using that as a sort of not exactly a dressing room, but my dressing table was in there with all my makeup and everything on it, and I would sit there, my hair dryer and everything was in there. So if I'm getting ready to go out, I don't have to sit in this room anymore. I sit in the front room, and I've got plenty of space, and it's great. But I've just moved my dressing table back in here. I've shifted a couple of other things around, so it kind of works, because I don't want it to feel like, for us, that we're sort of camping in our own house or anything. So it's not too bad. And I've moved the furniture around in my YouTube bedroom room, and I've shifted some stuff around in my our children's room, so my granddaughter's going to be comfortable. I mean, she's used to sleeping in there anyway, so just to make them feel welcome and at home, because they are welcome, and I'm looking forward to having them around, really. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, when you're an adult. I can remember it myself when I'd grown up and got married and had children, and then you go and visit your parents, and my parents lived in Devon for a period of time, and so you had to go and stay with them when you wanted to visit them. You didn't just go for a Sunday lunch or go for an evening or whatever. You'd go for several days, because we didn't see them that often, and my in-laws lived in Suffolk, so it was kind of the same there. We had to go and stay, and it was always kind of everybody made us welcome and everything, but it was also a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit squished in, and I'm sure they'll feel a bit like that, but I'm hoping to make them feel as comfortable as possible. But anyway, so that's that's going on, that's happening from this weekend. So yeah, hopefully the work can get done and they can get back in there as soon as they want it. I mean, I don't know, I think I probably irritate my daughter a bit, and I probably irritate her boyfriend a bit, I don't know really. Probably, you know, the both of us do, but if they've got their own little bit of space and they can get away from us, that's all to the good. But yeah, nice to spend a bit more time with my granddaughter as well. So anyway, that's why I'm sitting in a different room, and you know, so nothing very scintillating today in the video. I haven't done any clothes shopping or anything like that. I think I've done enough of that for a little while. With a view to my daughter and her family coming to stay, I did go to Asda yesterday, and I got a mattress protector, a new mattress protector for my granddaughter. Not that she needs one, but just to make it, you know, I like to have one on the bed. I don't like anybody just sleeping on the mattress as it just with a sheet on it. So I bought her a nicer one with a little bit more padding in it. She's very keen on, she's 9.5. She's very keen on Pokemon, so we've bought her some Pokemon bedding. I mean, I could show it to you, but you probably know what Pokemon is, and it's not that interesting. So, but I might, you know, when I've made the bed up, I haven't made the bed up yet because it's still 3 or 4 days before they're going to be here, and I didn't really want to make her bed up yet. Oh, I did actually though. I bought a new duvet for my daughter, and a new duvet and a new duvet cover for the bed that my daughter and her partner, her boyfriend, will be sleeping in, because well, there was no need to. I could have used the ones I've got. There's nothing wrong with them, but I just fancied buying something new and fresh. And I've had this conversation with you before, that when I buy bedding, I don't wash it before I put it on the bed, because I really like that feel of you know, it's kind of, I don't know what it is. It feels a bit sort of, not soft or anything, but just feels new, and it's got that new smell about it. And it's a bit of a throwback to when I was a kid, and you get new pyjamas or new something like that, and you'd get into bed and it just feel nice. My mum didn't wash stuff like that before we wore it for the first time, so I've never done it, and I like that. But I know my daughter does. She likes everything washed before it goes on the bed. So I have done her bedding and my granddaughter's bedding, just so that's, you know, the way that they like it, because we're nothing if not thoughtful in this house really. So yeah, so I just bought a 14 quid duvet cover set for them. I got a king size. The bed's only a double, which they've normally got a bigger bed, so that might be a bit of an issue, but I can't go buy another king size bed, so they'll just have to put up with that, I think. So I bought and also the duvet that my son used to use when he was here was a very thick one, so I've bought a lighter weight one, because I don't think they're going to need the 13 tog. This, I think I've got a 7.5, but I do have, if they get cold, I've got the other one they can use. So and I think the duvet, the king size duvet from Asda, was only 14 quid, and the cover set was 14 quid. The mattress cover that I got for my granddaughter's bed was £6. I bought her a bedside lamp. Well, it's not buying it for her. I needed another one for that room anyway, for a tenner in Asda, plus and then I bought the bulb. Don't know how much that was, I didn't check. And yeah, her Pokemon bed set. So they've both got nice new bedding when they come and stay as well. And yeah, I mean, if they stay multiple weeks, I've got other bedding for their bed, so that's fine. And yeah, I've just tried to make it as sort of comfortable as I can. We've moved out some clothing from the drawers in my granddaughter's room, and so they've got enough room to put anything they want to put in drawers. There's plenty of hanging space on the I've got a wardrobe on my landing, a built-in wardrobe, and they've got all of that they can use if they want it. They probably won't need all this, but I just want them to feel like they're not all, like I say, you know, kind of crowding the place out. Yeah, so yeah, I've done as much as I can think of for them, and I've also said to my daughter, if you want to bring your air fryer and your microwave, please do. She's got like a nice coffee machine that they use. She said, oh, have you got enough room in your kitchen? And I said I have, because I have, because I don't have a lot of stuff out, and I don't have a microwave. I don't have a coffee machine because I'm not really that interested in coffee. And the air fryer that she's using in her new house was my old one that I gave to her when she moved in, because they didn't have any cooking facilities. So she'll probably bring, I don't know if she will or not, but you know, if she wants to bring that back, because she's quite enjoyed using it. I think when she gets one of her own, she's going to get sort of something a bit fancier than the one I gave her, but at least I said it'll give you an you know, feel for whether you enjoy using it or not if you try it. And she said she has quite enjoyed using it, so good. I'm glad it's gone to some use. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I'll just show you, I'll whiz you around just to show you what I've done. If you know, if you're interested in seeing what the rooms look like, nothing's quite, you know, it's not all completely finished yet. There's still some more stuff to go out of the way, and I've got to give everywhere a good hoover, because that's the last job. But yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, so what else I forgot to tell you? I hope you're all well, by the way. Sorry, I should have said that. I should ask. Thank you for all the comments about my previous video. You know, nice to hear from you. Yeah, it is very nice. All the comments you send. I mean, I know a lot of it was, the video was a bit, you know, there was a bit about the weight loss thing, which I try not to go on about it, but I mean, you know, when you're doing it, you know, I know a lot of you are interested, and I know a lot of you aren't as well, but so I don't sort of want to dedicate whole videos to it, but thank you for all your comments on that. And yeah, everything else, it was it really does, it's quite I don't know what the expression is really, but it's just so nice to know you're out there and you are listening to me and you do enjoy what I tell you. I mean, you don't enjoy everything, and you know, you tell me about that, or if you don't agree with something, and that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I've got some really nice people that watch me, and I'm so pleased about it. And I'm still over my 2,000. I haven't gone under it yet, so thank you so much if you've newly subscribed. Yeah, so we went out actually at the weekend. Just wanted to mention this, because when it happened, I thought I'm going to tell my viewers about this, because I think I suppose it comes under making assumptions about people, and I know we all do it. And I would love to sit here and say to you, I don't make any assumptions about anyone, but I do all the time, and I think nearly everyone does. You see somebody and you make a judgment. And I know that people do about me, and I know that a lot of the time I give off a very poor version of myself, because how to explain that? Now, not everybody likes everyone. I'm not talking about YouTube, I just mean in life. Oh, the sun's coming out now, sorry. Not everybody likes everyone in life, and there's lots of people in my life that have liked me, I'm pleased to say, and there's lots of other people, I'm sure, some of whom I know didn't like me, but you know, that's it. You know, no one appeals to everyone, do they? But yeah, on the making a judgment about, I'm just going to pull this curtain across because I don't know, that's probably not, the sun's come out full blast now. Can you still see me? I don't know. yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say we all make judgments about people. And on Sunday, a few days ago, I said I booked a table for the two of us to go out for Sunday. Well, I'd say Sunday lunch or Sunday dinner. I actually booked a table for sort of mid afternoon, so 4 o'clock. That's probably late afternoon, isn't it? Anyway, and I do sometimes do a Sunday roast for the two of us, but quite a lot of the time I don't. So, you know, we're not kind of that fussed, generally speaking, but sometimes it's nice to have a Sunday roast. Now, if you're watching from another country and you don't know what a Sunday roast is, it's a roast joint of some description. It's usually either beef, lamb, chicken or pork with roast potatoes and whatever vegetables you like, with Yorkshire pudding maybe, or applesauce, depending on which meat you're having, or mint sauce with lamb and gravy and so on. So anyway, so I've been saying for a few weeks, oh, we should go out for Sunday lunch, because it's a big effort to do it for two people, which I don't mind. You know, that's kind of what I do, look after and feed people. And but sometimes, you know, you spend like perhaps 2 hours cooking all this, then you serve it, it's eaten in about 10 minutes at the longest, and then you've got a big pile of washing up to do, and you think, well, I don't really know why I bothered with all that. So I decided to book us a table. So I booked a table for the Sunday and for the two of us, and we went to a steakhouse, a really nice one that's near where we live, and it's not it's got a nice ambience inside. It's nice and cozy, the lighting's nice. It used to be a pub and they've converted it into this restaurant, and they do really good steaks and also roasts and other stuff as well. It's not, you know, but it's mainly a steakhouse, so vegans. Well, I have gone there with my daughter who's vegan, but, you know, fairly limited menu for that. But, you know, there's usually something in most places, aren't there, for people with different things that they enjoy eating, or allergies and whatnot. Anyway, and so when we got there, that we just had to wait a few minutes for our table, which was fine. And there's a very nice lady on the desk thing as you go in that takes you, you know, to ask you for your name. And she took us to the table. She wasn't a waitress. She was, I suppose, like duty manager or something, and sat us at the table. And then we sat there for a little while waiting for our waiter. It was quite busy in there, and there were lots of families in there with youngish children, which kind of surprised me really, because I don't even think it does a children's menu. Now, I know you're going to say, well, not all children eat children's menu food, but this sort of age range that was in there, you know, I'm surprised they don't particularly or specifically cater for these kids. Instead, they were just and it's quite pricey for yeah, I mean, it is quite pricey. Not the most expensive place in the world, but it's certainly not one of the cheapest. And you know, in my experience, most kids want like a sausage and mash, or they want a child's portion of something. Anyway, I'm getting off the point a bit, but anyway, so this lady, she gave us the menus, and then she said someone would be able to serve us shortly. And there was a little table next to us, the same as ours, for two people. And this bloke, who I didn't really take much notice of, who was obviously in a waiter's kind of outfit thing, went up to that table and did something with those people. And I think he was taking the money from them, and then they left. And I thought, oh, he's going to come over and ask for what drinks we want. So we studied the menu, and as I've said to you before on here, I do like wine, and I would normally have wine with a meal if I was drinking. Now, I've not been drinking very much lately, but I have had, you know, the occasional glass of wine. And the other thing is the drinking driving thing. Now, this restaurant happens to be down lots of different country lanes. It's a bit, you know, white knuckle ride if somebody's speeding along there. And and I won't drink anything anymore if I mean, I haven't for a long time. If I'm going out and I've got to drive, I won't even have one glass, because, you know, if you have a glass of wine and you're really enjoying it and you think, well, I'll have another one. So I avoid it at all costs. Whereas current husband would have a glass of wine, or possibly two small glasses of wine or something, and he would still, being he'd not got the, you know, he would still drive. He would be under the limit driving. So, but I don't want to even do that. If you see what I mean. And so I thought, I looked on the menu for the drinks, and it had all these sort of alcohol-free cocktails, and I'm not really a cocktail type person. They're usually too sweet, or, you know, they're just not really my thing. And so I thought, well, I'll look at the alcohol-free menu, and I thought they've probably got some, because it's a decent restaurant, they've probably got some decent versions of alcohol-free or very low alcohol wine on here. So I chose this particular wine, so I could feel like I was having a glass of wine, but I was going to drive home, so that was fine. And current husband had some, you know, some alcohol wine with alcohol in, so that was fine. I was a bit disappointed with it, to be fair. It did taste a bit like just apple juice, but, you know, it was in a wine glass, so there we are. And so I didn't like it enough to have another glass, and we did have some water. But then after a while, you know, this guy took quite a long time to come over to our table and even ask for the drinks. So this woman who seated us in the first place, she came and did all that, so he wasn't involved with that. And I think, I can't remember if she bought the drinks to the table or he did, but anyway, you know, he didn't really get very involved with us at all, so he was our table waiter. And so then we had our, you know, I think he came and got the, no, she took, at the same time she took the food order as well. So yes, he hadn't really interacted with us at all. Anyway, so we, you know, we got served and we had our wine, and we had our non-alcoholic wine in my case, and we had our dinner, and it was very nice, all very lovely. And then he came, this waiter, who was our waiter but hadn't been, came over, and he said to current husband, he said, "Oh, would you like more wine, sir?" And he said yes. And so he'd just had a glass, not a bottle. And then he didn't look at me at all or ask me if I wanted a drink. And I thought that was a bit odd, because I thought, well, even though it's an alcohol-free drink, it's still money in their till, isn't it? So I thought, well, maybe he'd made an assumption that because I'd had alcohol-free wine, that I wouldn't want another one, which I thought was, and the fact was that he hadn't even bought the first one to us anyway. I thought, well, he probably doesn't even know what I was drinking, but I was a bit kind of offended by that, the fact that he just asked current husband and he didn't ask me. And I mean, he wasn't kind of rude or anything, but I just thought that's a bit odd. And then, and I didn't want another one, but he wasn't to know that. And anyway, so that, you know, the time went on, and then the same thing happened again. I think we had some dessert, and he asked current husband if he wanted another glass of wine, and he didn't ask me. And I thought, and I was really quite sort of again, you know, a bit offended about this, and not desperately so I was going to complain to the management or anything, but I was a bit kind of, I thought it was a really weird thing to do, because, as I say, he's losing a sale there, isn't he? This is probably why he kept asking current husband if he wanted some more, because it's all money in the till, isn't it? And then anyway, so that was that, and we finished our food and our dessert, well, all of it, and we asked for the bill, and he did bring the bill over, and in a kind of a you know, like they bring it in a sort of a wallet thing, don't they? So and he gave it to current husband, and and I, well, to be fair to current husband, he was going to pay for it, but I said no, it was my suggestion, I'm going to pay for dinner, And then we had this sort of, oh, no, it's all right, I'll pay for it. It doesn't matter who pays for it. And I said, well, I want to pay for it. You know, it wasn't your idea to come out. So he gave me the thing back, and I was reading it all, you know, just looking at the bill and seeing how much it was. So I got my card out and put it in the little sort of book thing, wallety thing. And it was next to me, facing my way. And then he came up, this guy, and the waiter, and I thought he was going round this side, so I picked it up and went like that. But he saw me pick, you know, but then he'd gone back again, so that was all a bit weird. And then so he took the thing off of me with my card in, and then he gave it to current husband. And I took it back and I said, no, I'm paying for it. I was a bit arsey by this, sorry, a bit irritated by this. Oh, sorry, he said. And I thought, what is it with this bloke? You know, I wasn't, I didn't really know what to think. I just thought it was, in this day and age, do women, you know, older couples like us, is it always the man that pays? I don't know. And I was really quite put out by it. And so anyway, he said, oh, so sorry. And then I gave him my card and we did the whole thing. And then he went off. And and we got up to go. And then we were just about to leave out through the door. And I said, oh, God, we didn't leave a tip. And Karen, husband, said, oh, never mind, because, you know, he had put my nose out of joint a bit, this waiter. And he said it's probably included anyway on this. There's probably the service charge included on the bill. And I said, yeah, but I didn't notice that, and I didn't check. And I would always check that, and nearly always leave something else. If the waiting staff had been good, I know it might be 10 or 15%, but you know, you usually kind of feel duty bound, don't you, to put something on the table, especially if they've been really helpful, which of course he hadn't. He'd offended me twice, and he hadn't even served us for half of the meal. Anyway, I'd taken the bill with me, and I did look the following day, and we had paid 15% of it was, I think the bill was about £135 or something, and we'd paid 15%. Well, I'd paid 15% service charge on that, so I was quite glad I didn't leave any more. But yeah, I thought that is so weird. I just do not know how this man, I mean, you'd think waiting staff would be a little bit more, you know, a little bit more, just notice these things maybe. But, and like I say, it's a decent restaurant, and there's none of the, well, some of the staff were like young kids and that, but they were the ones that just bought, you know, sometimes when you'd give your order and then they'll bring you a plate of something that you don't know really what it is, and you didn't ask for in the first place, but you start picking at it because you're obviously hungry, and they charge you for it. It's not like it's free or anything. So some young girl bought that, but you know, this guy did absolutely nothing all evening for us, apart from offend me twice. So yeah, there you go. Perhaps that's not the most interesting story I've ever told you, but I was just thought, this is it, you know, just to make just when you're actually holding the thing and giving it to him, then he gives it to your bloke. I mean, really weird. Anyway, I don't know how long I've rattled on for. I'm sorry if this has been a bit tedious. I just wrote a couple of things down to mention to you, and I think I've mentioned. So there's the eating out thing, making assumption. Oh yeah, the other thing I was just going to say was, while we were in this restaurant, it was quite funny because I told you there was families in there, and and really quite small children. And some restaurants you want to go to where you're not bothered by small children screaming. Now, I've had small children. I've now got grandchildren who, some of them are still quite young. They're not that sort of, you know, they're not that young anymore, but you know, they're some of them are still quite young, and I do know they get bored and they don't really want to be there. And you know, all the paraphernalia their mums and dads take now, they watch some, you know, Hey Dougie or whatever it is on a phone, because they can't possibly amuse themselves. You know, they have to be amused. So you come out prepared as a parent these days, don't you? I mean, basically my children used to sit there and eat their food and be quite well behaved, but now you get them running around the place and everything, don't you? And nobody seems to mind, but I do. Yeah, so there were some quite young children in there. There was quite a screamy baby, but it was quite loud in there as well, because you know when people are talking, and then you know you've got big parties of people, and then you have to shout a bit louder to be heard by someone else, then somebody else has to shout a bit louder still, so there was all that. So I suppose it's not really conducive to small children. I think some of them should have probably been left at home, to be fair. But and then this family came in, so this would have been about 5:30, 5 o'clock or something, and they just looked haunted, these two young parents. They had a little kiddie who I would say was probably about 14 months. It was kind of walking whilst being held. They had another one in a pram, a pushchair or something, and then they had a third one, and they just spent all the time that they were in there taking it in turns to walk the little one that was grizzly, because this was another grizzly one. There was another first grizzly one, this was the second grizzly one. Walk around with him, and you know, just to keep him amused all the time. And I thought, my God, you know, it's just easier to stay at home, isn't it? You're just absolutely. It is such a shame that kids don't seem to be able to sit and do nothing, really, do they? And then it's really quite good at observing people. Sorry, I'm going on about something else now, aren't I? But you know, some 3 young girls came in who were I don't know, probably early 20s or something, and obviously meeting up, the 3 of them, for dinner and chatting and stuff, but then all of them were on their phones, and it's just watching the behaviour of people. It's just, I don't know, it's an eye-opener really, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now. I will do a little shot at the end so you can see what I'm talking about with these bedrooms, if you're interested. You know, if not, well, I'll try and think of something more interesting next time. Thank you so much for watching. Really, you know, really appreciate all your support. I hope this wasn't too tedious for you. Just a chatty video today. As I say, I did have a duvet in a packet I could have showed you, but I thought, oh, you're not very interesting, is it? Or a mattress protector. Probably seen one of those before, haven't you? So I didn't bother showing those, but I will. I'll just show you the rooms. So thank you so much for watching me. Take care. Hope this video goes up all right. I will see you next week. If I've got something interesting to tell you, I'll do a couple of videos if I've got enough content going on next week. If not, I will see you next Friday, and you take care, and bye for now. So this is the room I normally video in, and this is what I've done to it to make it a bit more comfortable for my daughter and her boyfriend while they're staying. So I've just moved the bed straight down the middle of the room, which is, I suppose, kind of where it's designed to be, because there's sockets either side. I bought this sort of ditzy print 14 quid duvet cover from Asda, which I thought was quite cute. I don't think it's my daughter's cup of tea, but there we are. And a couple of pillowcases, the sage colour plain ones there, which were £2 for 2. The headboard, I don't know, you might notice that it used to be dark brown, and I thought I've never really liked the headboard, but you know, it didn't really matter because no one was sleeping in here. But what I've done is I had a blanket that I didn't really use very much in this sort of colour, and I've just recovered it with a blanket. Only took me about 15 minutes because it's only a double bed. So yeah, I thought that looked all right actually. I think it's improved it. These holes on the wall, this is because we took the shelf down that normally sits here, because obviously they would probably be banging their head on it, so I haven't filled the holes or anything, because hopefully the shelf will be going back up. So they're just, I'm sure they won't care about that, but it does look a bit, looks like somebody's fired at the wall, doesn't it? Fired a gun at the wall or something. But yeah, that's all it is. So the shelf will be going back when they've gone. And I just turned the rug round. The rug is sort of an ombre colour, greens, and going to the pale cream to pale greens to cream, and that little rug was in here. This I separated this and the side cupboard here, so they've got somewhere to put bits and pieces if they want to. And there's a chair here which rarely gets used, but I thought it might be useful in here because I don't suppose I want to sit down and look at us all of the time. And this is the desk that I normally video from. A lot of the stuff I put in boxes and just put them out the way so that you know, they can use the space as they need. And as I've said before, they're not coming for very long, but you know, as long as they're here, I want them to be comfortable. And I changed out the curtains as well for these ones that I already had. Look at the carpet of leaves out there. So pretty. That window's not a terribly good window. Perhaps this one's a bit clearer for you. It's not dirty, it's just, I don't know what's wrong with it. So that's the path outside our house with all the trees changing colour. So, and it's a really horrible stormy day today, so I'm not intending to go anywhere. So yeah, so this, and they've got this TV they can watch. It's like a monitor, but you can watch TV on it. And yeah, I hope they'll be comfortable. I've left those pictures there. Just to show you, this is our bedroom, and this is the dressing table that's normally in that front room I just showed you, and I put it under the table for now, so that'll do me. I can manage that for a couple of weeks, and then again it'll be going back into the other room. And yeah, we've used the drawers under the bed for putting some clothes in, so we could clear out some drawers in the children's bedroom, so they've got somewhere to put their things. This is the children's room, which I've shown you before. There's nothing terribly exciting to see in here. Just moved some furniture around. We have one of these little IKEA desks, and I moved that in here. The current husband had his CPAP machine on it, but I've changed that out for something else that it takes up a bit less space in our room. And if my granddaughter wants to sit and do any of her homework or whatever, she can use this, or it's just somewhere to put stuff. The little table we've had in here for a while. That lamp cost £10 from Asda. The Pokemon duvet was £18 from was it Asda? Yeah, Asda. That light was from Asda. The Pokemon duvet was from Argos, £18. My shoes are in this, so I've just put this in here for now because I don't need to go in that every day because the shoes I use on a daily basis are already out. And this bed's just as it was, because my grandson might come and stay one day next week, but other than that it won't be used. So yeah, and I've got the fairy lights on. I like the fairy lights in here. And oh, I'll just show you while I'm here the back garden, because I tidied yesterday. We had a spell of sunshine, and it was in the corner there, just in front of the shed. The Acer tree had turned a beautiful golden yellow, all the leaves on it, and most of them have come down, as you can possibly see, apart from the bit that's hanging over next door's garden. So I went out and swept most of the leaves up to put in the garden recycling bin there. So there's still more coming down obviously now, because and hopefully most of it will be gone by the end of this weekend, because we've got this storm probably blowing a lot of stuff off. I planted out 2 pots down there. I don't know if you can see them very well, because down there there's some cyclamen and some winter pansies, and a little doggy ornament down there. And yeah, I don't know how well you'll see it, but that fuchsia that I was worried about not having any flowers, that has suddenly burst into flower, and I've already cleaned cleared so many up. They just drop on a daily basis, but all the plants have done pretty well this year, so I'm quite pleased with the garden. So that's just a little bit of an update, and thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you soon.